Boom, there we go. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the I Am a Business show. I'm not a businessman. I am a business man. And I'm just excited that you guys are here with me today. Looking forward to sharing with you guys some really neat things today. And today we're going to be talking about the requirements it takes to become an entrepreneur, okay? The requirements, okay? Why is this important? Okay, why do we want to talk about this? That's exactly why you're here today. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm telling you, this is going to be really good stuff, okay? So number one, I just want to welcome the people who are here, okay? I want to welcome you guys on Meerkat on YouTube, okay? And then the people who are watching this on the I Am a Business show. All right, I'm just so glad that you guys are here with me today. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys and passing down some really neat stuff and some nice little golden nuggets, right? And today's topic just happens to be the requirements of being an entrepreneur, okay? The requirements of being an entrepreneur, okay? Why is this important? Why is this cool? Why is this amazing? Why is this something that you need to know, okay? Because there's requirements, okay? There is requirements for a lot of things. And when it comes to being an entrepreneur, although this is something that's fairly now becoming very popular, I want you to understand that it's something that you want to focus on. It's something that you want to understand if you can actually do it before you do anything else, before you quit your job, before you decide to set out and just decide to just rock this out. You got to ask yourself, can you do it, okay? And I'm going to share with you a quick story, okay, just to illustrate really the requirements it takes to become an entrepreneur, okay? Now, again, I just want to let you guys know and understand here, we're live here Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, okay? And I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys some really golden nuggets with you guys and sharing with you guys some really neat stuff, okay? So let's get right into it, okay? You see, let me first share with you my little journey that I've been on, okay? I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old, okay? And I actually figured I wanted to be an entrepreneur because I actually picked up a book that probably a lot of you guys have read, which is called The Rich Dad, Poor Dad, okay? I read that book and it began to start changing my mind, okay? It began to start telling me that there was a better way, that there was a different way, that there was just better opportunities and different possibilities, right? And I started to read this book as I was actually, when I was delivering furniture at the time for Macy's. And if you can even imagine the kind of laborious, painful job it was having to go up the stairs, down the stairs, having to pick up these big loads of furniture, put it on your back, and then all of a sudden the customer saying they don't want it, and then having to go down the stairs, and if you scratch the wall and you mess up the paint on the wall and you chip anything, you have to pay them. And I remember working and doing that, right? And honestly, just thinking about that just kind of gives me the shivers and makes me never want to ever go back. And the truth is, luckily, because of what I've learned and some of the skill sets that I've learned, I no longer have to work at Macy's, right? But the reason why I share that with you is because I still remember reading that book when I was delivering furniture. And as a matter of fact, as I was reading that book, I remember the people around me, which happened to be my father, because I used to work for him, and his worker would make fun of me because I would read books, right? Because they didn't understand how reading books would eventually lead to actually making more money and developing wealth. But the truth is that when it comes to developing more money and more wealth, all it is just money. All money does is it rewards your creativity, your genius, and the solutions that you can provide in the marketplace, right? So what reading was doing for me in my mind was it was really allowing me to finally start thinking more creative, starting to think outside the line, starting to dream and to think about different possibilities and opportunities. So 19 years old, I finally decided to become an entrepreneur. So what did I do? I decided to start my own coaching business, okay, at 19 years old, hoping that it would be profitable, hoping that I would make enough money to walk away from my job, which at the time I was getting paid only $2,000 a month, okay, which is basically nothing, okay? And I was working 12 to 16-hour days, which were it was just incredibly painful. It was just incredibly exhausting. Anything that you can imagine, it was just that, and it was not a good thing, okay? So I realized that the moment that I decided to venture off into business, it was not as easy as I thought, okay? And here's the thing. Here's what a lot of people think, and here's the biggest misconception, that we think that although entrepreneurship does offer us a better way to live, it does give us the ability to do things and gives us more choices and allows us to hopefully one day live on our own terms, right? Because a lot of people never get there, right? One of the things that people don't understand is that it's not easy as you think, okay? As a matter of fact, most of the things that we think are easy to do are most likely not as easy as we think, right? A lot of them require a lot of things that we were not prepared for. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, there's a lot of things that you're going to encounter. There's a lot of obstacles that you're going to get in the way. There's going to be things that are going to be thrown at you, and you have to understand how to respond, okay? Because if you don't understand how to respond, you are going to run away like a little baby crying, because entrepreneurship is tough and it's challenging, okay? So the first requirement, okay, that you need to understand is it's not as easy as you think, okay? It's not as easy as you think, and it's not simple. It's not something you're going to get rich overnight, okay? It's going to require hard work. It's going to require discipline. It's going to require developing new habits. It's going to require you doing things that are not at all what you thought entrepreneurship was about, okay? So that's where I was. I started my own business at 19 years old, and guess what? It completely just failed. Okay, it failed, and I actually remember having to go around these interstates, and I remember posting these signs about coaching, right? Because I wanted to coach other people. I was so inspired about helping others, because I actually remember the same feeling I had when I would read a book, and I would actually remember the feeling I would be having when my life was transforming, and the feeling that I would get when I would get aha moments. So I wanted to pass that down, and I wanted to share it with more people, right? I wanted to be able to do that. So what ends up happening is actually really, really funny, that I just failed, okay? And after doing that stuff, I realized that it was not as easy as I thought, okay? You see, entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster, okay? And this is a great book, by the way, that I want to recommend to everyone who's listening to this right now, either on Meerkat, YouTube, or the IamABusinessShow.com. This is a book that you want to make sure you pick up. It's called The Entrepreneurship Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. And he talks about in this book how entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster. And, you know, when we're younger, you know, when we're really young and we're not growing that much and we want to get on a roller coaster, there's normally this height requirement that we have to exceed, or we have to meet right there. And if we don't meet it or exceed it, well, then we can't get on the roller coaster, because we are determined too small to get on that roller coaster, and it's dangerous and we can fly out, right? So right before you get on the roller coasters, I don't know about you, but I remember when I was younger, I would try to puff up my chest, and I would try to make sure that I do everything in my power to make sure I exceeded that line, okay? But luckily for me, I was not very short for very long. And when I started doing roller coasters, I didn't face that problem very often, because I grew fairly quickly. But there are people, and you sometimes see it in amusement parks, and you see these little kids who are trying to spike up their hair, they're trying to puff up their chest, they're trying to tippy toes, they're trying to put socks in their shoes so they can meet the requirement to get on the roller coaster. Well, it's the same thing in entrepreneurship, right? There is a requirement that we all have to make sure we pass before we get on it. If not, you're going to have a very, very, very not good time on that roller coaster, even though that roller coaster is designed for you to have a good time. You just have to make sure you understand the twists and the turns, the drops, and all of these different things that you may not have expected. Okay, so at 19 years old, my business fails, okay, and then I actually get an opportunity to manage a martial arts business, okay? Now, I was very intrigued, and I wanted to do this because of the fact that I knew that I was going to pick up skill sets, and I was going to learn things that were going to fuel me and help me in my entrepreneur journey, okay? So I realized that becoming an instructor, managing a martial arts school business was probably the best experience that I could have ever gotten. And I'll share with you why in just a minute here, okay? But here's what I didn't know again. I didn't know how hard it was going to be. Again, the misconception that we have is that we think it's a lot easier than we think, because sometimes we see people doing it so effortlessly, so naturally, that we also think that we can do it, not realizing how much time that person has put in order to get those results and in order to perform that way, okay? So here's what I learned. I start managing a martial arts school. I start teaching classes, and the first thing that I realized is I absolutely not suck. I mean, I freaking suck really badly when it comes to communicating and teaching. I didn't understand that. I couldn't articulate a message. I couldn't entertain people. I realized that I was lacking very much in my communication skills. And being an instructor and being a teacher, teaching martial arts in this martial arts business, I realized that this was going to hold me back, not just in martial arts, but in business, right? So I realized very quickly that I was lacking a lot of skill sets, and I was lacking a lot of the skills that a lot of these successful people that run businesses have. So I immediately realized this is what I needed to improve on. So I started to teach classes, and of course I sucked the first couple of classes, but I continue and pushed forward and continue to want to learn how to learn this art of communicating. The next thing that I learned, I really do appreciate it. D Trucking, thank you for retweeting this and liking this. You are the bomb, okay? And make sure you follow D_Trucking for getting on here and liking this and retweeting this. I appreciate you, brother, from Meerkat. We are live from Meerkat YouTube and from the IamABusinessShow.com. And in today's topic, we are talking about the requirements to becoming an entrepreneur, okay? So here's the deal. I realized that it was very painful, okay? I realized that there was a lot of pain that I had to endure in order to learn a lot of these skill sets, right? But here's the deal, okay? Sometimes we just have to focus on what the outcome will be. We just have to focus on what the results will yield if we're patient and if we stick it out. You see, so often the moment we fear pain, we kind of run away. The moment we start getting uncomfortable, we run the opposite way. The moment we feel any type of discomfort, we absolutely hate it and we want to go back to our comfort zone. It is natural for us to do, but if you want me to be honest with you, you're not gonna exceed the requirements of becoming an entrepreneur. Becoming an entrepreneur is all about being uncomfortable, learning things that are just out of your comfort zone, doing things that are out of your comfort zone. And that's what I was having to do at the age of 19 years old. I was teaching a class that I absolutely sucked in. People would make fun of me. People would say I'd suck. There was a lot of things and a lot of insulting things that I had to bear when I was learning how to teach classes, right? But I kept reminding myself the real reason why I was doing it. You see, every time that I got up there and I completely bombed the class because I didn't know how to teach, I didn't know how to speak, I didn't know how to communicate, here's what I did. Here's one thing that I did right. I didn't focus on the immediate pain. I focused rather on the pleasure of what the outcome would be when I realized and I became a more powerful communicator. I also linked that pleasure to the other possibilities and opportunities becoming a better communicator would open me up to. So because I focus on the outcome and I focus on the pleasure rather than the pain, I would actually do my absolute best to get on there and of course get made fun of and of course bomb the class. And with time, here's the cool thing about time. You see, time will either promote you or it's gonna expose you. And the cool thing about time is that even if you suck, even if you completely 100% suck at something, if you just mix time with the equation, it's only a matter of time before you become a master at whatever you want to become a master at. And in this case, I wanted to master my communication skills because I knew that was going to be important as an entrepreneur, to be able to pitch my ideas, to be able to be persuasive, to be able to lead, to be able to articulate, to be able to share my message with more people like yourself. I knew it was going to be important. The third thing that I realized that I needed to learn as an entrepreneur was leadership, okay, leadership. I started to finally get better at teaching classes. And of course, there's other people who began to start looking up to me. And my job as an instructor was to develop a team so then it would replace me from having to teach classes and I can advance in other things where I can be more useful and more handy. Well, I realized immediately that I needed to develop leadership skills. Now, for most of my life, I was never really a leader. I was kind of on the opposite spectrum where I was the follower and I was following the wrong people, specifically for 19 years of my life. Maybe you guys can relate. Maybe you guys can't, but let me know if you guys can relate with me, okay? So I realized very quickly I needed to understand how to lead people, okay? It wasn't the very easiest thing, and I realized that when you're leading people, you have a huge responsibility, and if you don't meet the criteria or you don't do whatever it takes, or if you don't constantly learn and renew and sharpen yourself, you give your followers no reason to want to follow you. So I realized very quickly that I needed to not just become the best leader I could become, but I needed to constantly learn and I needed to constantly take action, and I needed to constantly do things so they can actually see what a true leader was. And the truth was that I was very uncomfortable doing those things, right? The whole leadership thing, you know, more people are more prone to follow what you do when they see you do it rather than when they hear you say it, okay? Hopefully that makes sense, because that was really, really powerful. And I do see a lot of people coming in and out from Meerkat, and I just want to welcome you guys. Again, we are live on the I Am a Business show, and I'm just excited that you guys are here. I'm sharing with you guys the requirements to becoming an entrepreneur, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys some really neat things, okay? So let's continue. Can we continue? Can we continue? Okay, hopefully we can. All right, anyways, so we can. So here's the deal. So far we've talked about the requirements, okay? So the first requirement is understand it's not going to be as easy as you think, okay? It's going to be very challenging. It's going to be very hard. There's going to be a lot of things that are unexpected, and just get ready for the ride of your life, okay? The second thing is I immediately realized that I need to learn communication skills so I can communicate my message and I can pitch my ideas, I can be persuasive, and I can obviously develop influence, okay? The third thing I realized is I needed to develop leadership, okay? I needed to develop leadership, okay? So what were the last two things that I found out? Well, I quickly found out that in order to be an entrepreneur or a business or be in business, I needed to know how to sell. I needed to know how to sell. So what I realized is I had to focus on selling. Now, I don't know about you, but I wasn't born selling. I didn't know how to sell, even though we all kind of know how to sell when we're young kids. You know, we never take no for an answer, and we constantly are persistent until we get the answer that we're looking for. Okay, I get that, but somewhere along the line, somewhere along my life, I stopped being persistent and I stopped selling myself, and I started to doubt myself, and I started to think I wasn't worthy, okay? Here's what ended up happening, okay? So here's what ended up happening. Damn, D-Truck, thank you for liking this again and retweeting this. You are the bomb, dude. I appreciate you, okay? So I realized very quickly I needed to know how to sell. So, of course, I'm in the martial arts business, and I realized that the perfect opportunity for me to learn this is by enrolling new students into the program. So I actually remember my first sale like it was yesterday. It was actually in the winter. It was snowing, and I had just finished teaching a kickboxing class to somebody brand new, okay? And she was a woman, and she wanted to learn kickboxing, and actually her name was Jasmine, okay? And Jasmine was very interested in kickboxing, and of course, I thought it was a perfect opportunity for me to sharpen my skill sets. Now, I had a great teacher who taught me how to sell, which is my wife, and I would watch her close deals over and over and over. And I said to myself, this can't be that hard. Again, I was underestimating it, and I didn't know how hard it was going to be. So I remember after class, sitting Jasmine down, looking at her and saying, okay, well, these are the programs, these are the prices, so are you interested? Like, it was so quick, and I was so nervous, and I was like, my heart was pounding because I didn't want to be rejected, right? And here's the thing with selling. When it comes to selling, a lot of people don't like it because a lot of people don't want to be rejected. A lot of people don't like people giving them no's when they're asking for questions. It is a little painful, and yes, it's a little uncomfortable. So when it comes to selling, a lot of people try to shy away from it because they are not okay with rejection, because they feel like when people say no, they're saying no to them. But the truth is that they're not necessarily saying no to you. They're just saying no because of something that they themselves aren't okay with, okay? So understand that. So I remember showing the contract to Jasmine, which is the kickboxer, and for those who are coming in, I'm just sharing with you guys the requirements to be an entrepreneur, and we just happen to be in the fourth requirement. You got to know how to sell, okay? And I remember telling her, this is what you need to pay for. And she said, well, I would love to get started. And I was like, yes, but, and I was like, damn, I don't have my credit card. And I literally remember walking her out to her car to get her wallet. She said, it's in my wallet and it's in my car. And I was like, there's no way I can lose this sale. There's no way I'm going to lose it. So I remember walking with her to her car. I even remember wiping her windshield down, completely shoveling the snow around her car because I wanted the sale. And I remember escorting her to the car and then escorting her back to the business, back to the martial arts business. And I remember getting my first sale. And I was like, this is so easy. I can do this. But the truth was, it wasn't easy. And there was not many Jasmines that came along afterwards, right? because afterwards I had to learn about objections. I had to learn how to deal with people's emotions. I had to learn how to close people out. I had to learn how to ask specific questions that would pull on emotions. And I started to learn all these other things that I never knew that I needed to know as an entrepreneur. Okay, thank you for retweeting this, Mr. Brian. I appreciate this. Thank you for liking this. You are the bomb, dude. Appreciate it a tons. Thank you. You are the man. Okay, welcome the audience from Meerkat who are coming in. We're talking about the requirements to becoming an entrepreneur. This is the I Am a Business show, and we are live on Meerkat, YouTube, and the IamABusinessShow.com. And I want to give you guys a gift. If you guys decide to go to the IamABusinessShow.com, you guys can get a free PDF on the 6 steps to having a six-figure online machine. And I also want to share with you guys, and I want to give you guys the ability to join our VIP list completely for free to get our daily updates. Okay, so just wanted to share that with you guys. Again, thank you guys. And we're talking about the requirements to becoming an entrepreneur. So we've talked about 4 up to this point. The first one is you got to understand it's not going to be as easy as you think. It's actually going to be very challenging, okay? The second thing we talked about is you need to know how to communicate in a way that it resonates with the audience, and you can pitch your ideas, you can be persuasive, you can develop influence, okay? The third thing that you need to understand and you need to know is leadership, okay? As an entrepreneurship, you're going to be in a situation where you need to lead people so they can create the vision, and they can bring your thoughts and what you see in your mind into manifestation, okay? The fourth thing we just talked about is you need to know how to sell. So what's the fifth thing? The fifth thing is you have to have the ability to take on fear right in front of you. You have to run towards fear, right? A lot of people run away from fear. But as an entrepreneur, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns, okay? There's going to be upside down loops that you're going to have to literally run directly right into fear, okay? Let me share with you a couple of brain hacks that I learned from Darren Hardy that you guys may find very useful when it comes to tackling fear, okay? This is very important because as an entrepreneur, if you can't deal with fear, if you can't run towards fear, if you can't overcome fear, you're never going to get the things done that you need to get done, because fear, my friends, does the worst thing of them all. It paralyzes you, and it keeps you bound, and it keeps you from not taking any action because you're so afraid of what may happen, which in most of the times, in most cases, our minds play a trick on us, and our minds does something that exaggerates the thoughts. Again, thank you, Morena. Morena in la casa. Morena en la casa. Morena in la casa. Morena en la casa. Morena en la casa. Anyways, I'm here and I met the requirements. Awesome. Good stuff, Morena. Morena, you're awesome. I'd love to hook you up with a free PDF. If you go to the I Am a Business Show after this, go to the IamABusinessShow.com. You can get a free PDF. And I'd love to have you on my email list and share with you guys, share with you more valuable things. Congratulations, Morena met the requirements, okay? Congrats, all right? So I'm going to share with you a couple of brain hacks that you can use to tackle fear, okay? That's what I'm going to do right now, which is the 5th requirement, okay? So before you can jump on the roller coaster of the entrepreneur, right? You have to be able to tackle fear. You have to know how to go after fear. So let me give you a couple of brain hacks that you're going to think are really useful for you, okay? So first, let's talk about fear. It's not real. It's actually false evidence appearing real, which I'm sure you know that acronym if you're an entrepreneur, okay? You're calling me a black girl. It's Moreno, not Morena. Ah, dude, I'm so sorry, bro. I apologize, man. I apologize, dude. I thought you were a girl, man. I misread it. I'm sorry. I'm like squinting. I'm like, I apologize, dude. Anyways, you're totally cool, bro. Thank you for liking this and retweeting this, and I'm glad that you passed the requirements. No hard feelings. Did it take you a while to get over the fear in building your business? Dude, you know what? I still feel that. You know, that's a great question. I still feel fear. You know, I still feel it. And let me share with you a couple of brain hacks that I started using that have made the biggest difference, okay? So the first brain hack that I think is really, really useful, and I think you'll find this very useful, is I'm going to share with you a quick story, okay? So they actually wanted to test fear on the people. They actually put these heart monitors on these people that are going to jump out of the sky. They're going to skydive, okay? So they realized that as the plane was boarding and as the plane was going up in the air, they realized that the person's heart rate was speeding up and the heartbeat was actually going harder and harder and faster and faster and faster, so much so that they actually thought that their heart was going to come out of their chest. I mean, the heartbeat was just completely it was going crazy. And the higher they got, the higher their heart rate went, right? So there came a point where they had to jump out of the plane. As they were stepping to jump out of the plane, they realized that the heartbeat significantly increased right before they jumped. Okay, here's a really cool thing that you want to understand, and this is a brain hack that you can use when it comes to facing the fears and building your business and just doing it, right? So they literally jumped out of the plane, and of course, as they jumped out of the plane, everyone thought that it was going to get worse, right? But something happened. It was actually the opposite that happened. And as they jumped out of the plane, they realized that their heart rate, instead of going higher, it significantly dropped. And all of a sudden, they realized that they were actually having fun. And they realized that instead of the heartbeat going higher, it went lower to the point where their heart rate was normal. Why did this happen? Well, here's the deal. When it comes to being an entrepreneur and tackling your fears right on, all you have to do is be brave for 20 seconds, okay? 20 seconds is normally around the time that you need before your mind realizes that it's not a life or threatening situation. For example, right before you go up and you speak in front of a stage, which a lot of people are afraid of public speaking, right? Right before you speak in front of a stage, you got to understand there's a lot of people that feel that same fear, but it's what you do with that fear. Are you going to run away? Are you going to let it take over your mind? Are you going to let it consume your body? Are you going to let it consume your actions, your decision making? Or are you going to actually tackle it right in front of them, right? Well, you just need 20 seconds. Because the moment you step on that stage, yes, you're going to be afraid, but before you know it, your mind is going to realize it's not a life or threatening situation. And it was just your mind playing a trick on you, that you weren't going to die from stepping on stage and speaking to 1,000 people. It was just imagined. It was just an illusion. It was just fake. And when you realize this, what happens is that your mind instantly gets rid of fear. Okay? So hopefully that makes you feel better, that you don't have to be brave the entire way. You just have to be brave for a little bit of time before fear disappears and you start having fun like the people who jumped out of the plane. Here's another cool brain hack, okay? Here's another cool brain hack that you guys can use when it comes to overcoming fear that a lot of people feel. Okay, another cool brain hack is asking yourself, is this going to kill me? Is this going to kill me? I know it sounds a little stupid. I know it's like crazy, but if it's not going to kill you, then why are you sweating it? Why are you completely just going crazy in the mind, so afraid of this one thing that you're so afraid of? Okay, so ask yourself that question. Is this thing that I'm going to do right now, is this going to kill me? Because if it's not going to kill you, right, then you should do it. Just do it, right? Just do it, right? Everybody feels fear. It's something that's unavoidable, okay? It's something that you just can't do. Let me give you a couple of more exercises that you guys can do. That's really cool. All right, so here's what you can do. Okay, fear is uncomfortable. It's not comfortable. So the more you can get used to becoming comfortably uncomfortable, the better you'll be at responding when you are in fear, because fear makes you feel uncomfortable. So I think people are afraid because they have failed in the past. Very true. So a lot of people sometimes are afraid of their past failures. Brian brought a great point that some people sometimes don't do what they need to do because they think of the past, right? But here's what sometimes we have to understand, right? That we have to understand that if we're constantly evolving, if we're reading, if we're developing ourselves, if we're on this journey of entrepreneurship, which is constantly developing our minds, constantly wanting to learn more, constantly surrounding ourselves with better people, constantly developing habits, if that's what we're doing and we're growing, if you can answer the question, are you growing as an entrepreneur? And the answer is yes, then it is completely unfair to look at your past failures and bring that to the present moment and act based on what you've failed in the past, because you are a brand new person. You're a brand new individual. You are completely a new and better version of you that never existed until this moment. So it's not fair for you to compare yourself with somebody that you were 2 days ago, a week ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. It is completely unfair. It is not, it's like you're giving yourself, it's just not fair. It's not, because you're a brand new person, and because you're a brand new person, therefore you need to expect a brand new result, a brand new outcome, a brand new outcome. Okay, so right before you go and do the very thing that you want to do, you can actually visualize. Okay, past fear is freedom. Okay, thank you for liking this, Mel Vanity. Mel's Vanity. Okay, I really do appreciate you. Okay, I'm actually gonna follow you guys. Okay, for some reason, guys, can you guys follow me? And then I actually will follow you as soon as I see who's following me. Okay, but I want to just say thank you for participating. Okay, and I just want to let you know that what we're talking about right now is the requirements as an entrepreneur. I was just giving a couple of tips on how to hack fear, brain hacks. Okay, so you can actually hack fear, so you don't let fear take over what you want to do. Okay, and you know there's many forms of fear. The truth is that fear is going to be the common denominator every single time, whether you are going to be great or you're not. You're just one powerful decision. You're one powerful decision from becoming powerful. You're one powerful decision from having a powerful life, right? The decision you have to make is going to cost you something. It's going to cost you having to be brave. It's going to cost you having to be courageous. It's going to cost you from tackling fear, going right in front of it, going right ahead of it and doing the damn thing, right? Because the truth is, it's uncomfortable, right? But guess what? When you tackle fear, okay, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Vashawn Patterson. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. When you tackle fear right on and you decide to do it, right? You know, I can't lie to you, man. You know, there's things that I'm afraid of till this day, man. You know, till this day. But I know that if I continue to allow that fear to control me, I'm not going to get where I need to go. So there's many times where I just need to do the damn thing, right? Like sometimes I still get afraid when I'm doing one-on-ones, when I'm meeting up with coaching clients, when I'm about to close a deal. There's a little bit of fear there, but you know what's helped me really kill that fear? Repetition. Repetition. The more you do it, the more you will literally kill fear, and the more you'll become numb to that situation, okay? Like there's a lot of things that I'm not fearful of anymore, but 5 years ago I was completely scared to death. But how I mastered it was by literally getting uncomfortable and doing it over and over and over. So here's an exercise that you guys can practice today, so you guys can become a stronger person. You guys can start learning how to get comfortably uncomfortable, okay? So a couple of things you can do, okay? So you can actually get with the partner, okay? Get with the partner, maybe your spouse or maybe your friend or maybe somebody you're talking to on Skype, and do this for 30 seconds, okay? Literally just sit in front of each other and look at each other. Okay, look at each other for 30 seconds. And those 30 seconds is going to feel like 30 years, okay? Like 30 years. And what's going to happen is you're going to get uncomfortable. You're going to feel awkward. You might want to laugh. You might feel weird inside. But what I want you to do is to resist from acting on those emotions. Resist from acting on those emotions and just look at your partner right in the face for 30 seconds. And when the 30 seconds are over, you're going to realize that you just got one step closer to getting comfortably uncomfortable. You just became stronger because now you dealt with that uncomfortable feeling and you didn't act on it. Okay, you didn't allow it to consume you. You resisted it. Okay? And you're also going to realize that sometimes in our minds, we make this entire movie, exaggerated movie, where we think that we're going to get shot. We think our heads are going to come off. We think that we're going to walk away without limbs. But it's not true. It's not true. It's made up, okay? It's not true. So again, guys, hopefully you guys got some value out of those brain hacks. For those who are joining me in Meerkat right now, this moment, we are talking about the requirements it takes to become an entrepreneur, okay? I've been an entrepreneur now since I was 19 years old, okay? That's 6 years. I'm sorry, that's 5 years that I've been an entrepreneur. And I have to say that for 90% of it, I was completely just lost. I was dealing with a lot of things that I had to deal with. I was dealing with a lot of limiting beliefs. It's only now that I'm starting to enjoy entrepreneurship. But you know what? Here's something that I learned, that 95% of being an entrepreneur is going to suck. 95% of being an entrepreneur is going to suck. It's going to suck bad, real bad. But 5% of being an entrepreneur is going to be amazing. It's going to be freaking amazing. Being able to do what most people can do in 10 lifetimes. Being able to give back. Having more choices. Having your ideas manifest. Having control over your life. Right? So understand that 95% of being an entrepreneur sucks. Only 5% is actually going to be really rewarding. But that 5% is going to be amazing. So what are the 5 requirements? Number 1, understanding it's not going to be as easy as you think. It's going to be hard as hell, challenging. It's just going to be crazy. The second thing is you got to learn how to communicate your message so you can be more influential, be persuasive, and you can actually make sense when you're pitching your ideas or you're pitching your business model to investors or whatever. Okay. The third thing is you need to have leadership. Okay. As entrepreneurships, you need to develop leadership so you can lead your people and you can inspire them and motivate them to go out there and manifest the dream, or manifest what you see in your mind, become the fruition and get results. Okay. The fourth thing is you're going to need to know how to sell. Okay. Not just products, not just products or things that are physical or whatever you're selling, but you have to know how to sell yourself. Because if you don't know how to sell yourself, even though you may bring a lot of good stuff to the marketplace, and you need that one connection or you need that one investor to actually pay you or give you the money you need to fund your business, you're going to completely fail at it. Because if you don't know how to do this, if you don't know how to sell yourself, people are just going to look past you because they're going to think that you're not worth it, you're not good enough, and you're just honestly you're not the person they're looking to do. Okay. The fifth thing is you have to know how to tackle fear right on. You have to learn how to tackle the fear straight on. Okay, straight on. Okay, like a crazy man. Okay. So what I want to do, guys, for those who have joined me here, okay, any resources to help with selling? Absolutely. There's a lot of resources that can help you with selling. Of course, there's different forms of selling. There's person-to-person selling. There's, here's what I also want you to understand. That's a great question that you asked, Brian. There's a difference between selling and closing, okay? And I never knew that. Selling, a lot of people know how to do very well, but then when it comes to closing the deal out, they're not very good at doing it because they're afraid of asking for the close. But there's a lot of great materials that teach you how to sell, okay? I'll give you a couple of recommendations. There's a great book called Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone, okay? Sell or Be Sold. All right. There's another course that I've taken that's really good. It's called Close the Sale University. Okay. There's a lot of resources, but right now those are the things that come to my mind when it comes to selling. Okay. But I think that you can literally practice selling every single day when you're talking to people, selling them on your ideas, selling them on where to go out to eat, selling them on what restaurant you guys should eat, selling them on what clothes they should wear. Like, you have the ability to learn this, right? And here's one thing that I learned is that the person who's doing most of the selling is going to be the person who lives an extraordinary life. And the person who's going to be being sold all of the information all of the time, they're probably going to be the ones who become consumers, right? We have to shift our minds from being consumers to being producers, okay? I'm going to repeat that one more time because it's super important that we as entrepreneurs understand that. Because if we are constantly becoming consumers, we are never going to have the ability or the opportunity to make money because we're going to be consuming things, right? Now, I'm not saying not to invest, because I think investing is a beautiful and wonderful thing and you should absolutely do it. But what I am saying is that most of your time should be spent selling, okay? Like 80% of your time should be spent selling. 20% of your time should be spent buying educational courses and investing in things like that, right? That's important. So what I want to do really quickly, for those who are here, this is what I'm doing, okay? I'm going to basically be launching a class, university, that's going to be happening July 14th, okay? And we already have 3 people who've decided to take up the spots for the class. It's only going to be a maximum of 10 people, and there's already 3 people who took the class. So there's taking the spots. So there's only 7 spots left, okay? It's basically it's called the Online Profit University, okay? Where I'm going to be teaching entrepreneurs like yourself how to 10x your sales in whatever you may be selling or whatever you may want to sell in the internet, and have people pay for it, okay? So it's going to be July 14th, and what I would like to do right now is I'd like to give you guys a breakthrough session, completely 100% on me, on the house, for tuning in and for following me on Meerkat, okay? Normally I charge $600 an hour, okay, per session. It's called a breakthrough session, where I'm basically going to be talking about your goals, going over some of the problems you may be facing, opportunities you may be missing, and things that you may not even realize that may be sabotaging your desired result. And then we're going to put an action plan together, and we're going to implement it together, and we're going to help you get the results that you wanted. Well, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give it to you completely 100% free, because you guys are my followers, okay? And I wanted to just give that away to you for free. So if you are interested in wanting to take me up on this offer, which is worth $600 in value, but you're getting it completely free because you're watching this on Meerkat, and this is not going to be exclusive. It's only exclusive for people on Meerkat. So I just want you to understand that. I want you to Skype me, okay? I want you to send me a message on Skype, okay? My Skype username, I want you to write this down right now, is P as in Paul, A as in Apple, O as in Omar, U as in umbrella, L as in Lopez, O as in Omar, C as in cat, _ Q as in quiz. Let me repeat that one more time without all of the acronyms. Okay, it's PAOULO C _ Q. Okay, it's my Skype name is literally my my Meerkat handle. Okay, it's my Meerkat handle. So Paulo C _ Q. And if you guys message me, just message me on Skype when you find me and say, I want you to message me on Skype and just type in Meerkat, Meerkat breakthrough session, or Meerkat coaching. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a one-on-one so I can share with you, so I can go over those things on this breakthrough session. There's been countless of people that have gotten aha moments. There's been countless of people that have actually gotten a lot of value from this. And there's even people that have gone ahead and created results just from this breakthrough session. Okay, the most powerful thing is having clarity. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, we can have a lot of ideas that we never take action on it because we're just not clear on the direction we need to head. So I would love to bring more clarity and share with you exactly what you would need to do to really take off, okay? So that's exclusively for my Meerkat buddies and my following. You guys can just message me on Skype at Paulo C _ Q, which is my handle on Meerkat, and just message me Meerkat Coaching, and I'm gonna waive the $600 fee, give it to you completely free, and I would love to set up a one-on-one with you guys and talk to you guys more. Again, guys, let me just give a quick recap of what this show was about today. Okay, today we talked about the requirements of being an entrepreneur. I'm guessing that if you guys are on here, most of you guys are entrepreneurs, or the title would have never caught your attention. So if you guys are entrepreneurs, make sure you follow me, your fellow entrepreneur, and I'm gonna follow you guys back, because as entrepreneurs, I believe in supporting each other's dreams. I believe in being a supporter rather than being a crab and pulling you down. If there's gonna be one person that's gonna cheer you on, that's gonna believe in you, that's gonna think that you're awesome, okay? There's one person that's gonna do that for you. It's gonna be me, okay? I'm not gonna be like your mother. I'm not gonna be like your sister that doesn't believe in you. I'm not gonna be like your friends that completely think you're crazy. I'm actually going to be rooting for you, and I actually want you to succeed. Okay, so again, the recap of today's show, there's requirements to being an entrepreneur. The first one is you have to understand that this journey is not going to be easy. It's going to be challenging. So preparing for challenges and embracing, just holding on tight, not letting go. The second requirement is you absolutely need to know how to communicate your message so you can pitch your ideas, be influential, be persuasive, and develop, and you got to know how to communicate, right? The third thing is you have to have leadership, right? At the end of the day, what's going to make your dream come true, what's going to take your ideas and manifest them into the open and create and make your dream the reality, you're going to need a group of people. Anybody who's great, anybody who's done amazing things in this world has not done it by themselves. They've done it with a group of people that believe in the leader's vision. And your job is to develop that leadership skill, develop the ability to lead people, develop the ability to create a vision bigger than yourself, bigger than them, that gives them the opportunity to look at you and see an opportunity to grow, an opportunity for challenges, an opportunity where they can actually, they can become a better person, right? And as a leader, that's the invitation that's going to draw more people to want to follow you. A vision that's huge. Like my vision is to help 1,000 six-figure earners. I want to create 1,000 six-figure earners every single year, and then eventually 1,000 millionaires, and eventually 1,000 billionaires, right? So, but I'm starting off at that level, but that's my vision, right? And I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's going to be hard, and I know there's going to be a lot of things I have to learn and endure, but I have a vision big enough and bigger than myself and bigger than most people, which is the reason why I'm going to draw more people. So learn how to become a leader, okay? The fourth thing you absolutely need to know, that you need to understand what you need to do, that's super important, okay? That's super important, is you're gonna have to do something, you're gonna have to learn how to sell, okay? You're gonna have to learn how to sell, okay? You have to learn how to sell yourself. If you don't know how to sell yourself, you may be one connection away from getting the money or the resources that you need, the investors that you need, or even be in front of the audience that you need to be in front of so you can deliver solutions to the problems that they may have, right? So you have to know how to learn, you have to learn how to sell yourself, okay? And the last thing is you have to learn how to tackle fear right on. You got to stop running the opposite way, and you got to confront your fears and run right towards it as fast as possible. Because if there's anything that's going to make your fears get bigger, it's going to be time, right? We have to understand as entrepreneurs that time only causes fear to get bigger in our minds, because when we give time to anything, we let our imagination take over. And let's be honest, our minds are wired to be negative, which is the reason why it's always great to put positive things in your mind, read books, listen to audio, surround yourself with positive people, right? Because our minds sometimes tend to think of things in the negative way. So the more time you give to your fear, your imagination is going to take over, and your imagination is going to exaggerate everything, not for the good, but for the bad. And it's going to make that fear that you had 10 times bigger, and it's definitely going to paralyze you, and it's definitely going to become worse. So just do it and understand that you're not going to die, and understand you only have to be brave for the first 20 seconds, because once your mind realizes that you're not in a life-threatening situation, all fear is gone. It's gone just like that when you make the decision. You guys have been great to me. I want to give a couple of shout outs to the people who commented, and I'm going to give you guys the ability to follow these people because they've decided to participate, and I like to give recognition where recognition is due. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Vashawn Patterson. Okay, hopefully I'm saying your name right, dude. Vashawn Patterson, thank you for liking this and retweeting this. I want to give a shout out to my homie Brian Arnold for just constantly participating, commenting, and just retweeting this. Vashawn, again, you're awesome, dude. So make sure you follow Vashawn. Follow at Vashawn Patterson, and make sure you follow at Brian Arnold. And I see, I'm not sure if this person's still here, but M.E. Less Vanity, okay? Shout out to you. Thank you for liking this, commenting, and retweeting this. Make sure you follow at Mel's Vanity, okay? Make sure you follow Moreno en la Casa, okay? Moreno _ in la Casa, okay, for for actually commenting this, okay, and liking this and retweeting this, okay. Thank you so much. D Trucking, thank you for liking, retweeting, dude. That's amazing, okay. So just want to say thank you, okay. And I see a lot of people coming in. As more people come in, it's interesting how Meerkat works, right? But for those who are obviously on Meerkat and you guys are watching shows, I know that as entrepreneurs, you guys can totally utilize this platform to share more stuff, okay? Where are you from, JC? Jersey City. Yeah, I'm from Jersey City, no black, iBlack Mexican. Thank you for liking this and retweeting. Make sure you follow iBlack Mexican, okay? But as entrepreneurs, I know that Meerkat, I want to encourage you guys to use Meerkat. I think it's a phenomenal platform so you can have a voice, promote yourself, promote your brand. Oh, to iBlack. Oh, okay, so you changed it. That's funny as hell, dude. iBlack Mexican. Interesting. Okay, cool. So you changed the name. Interesting. Okay, I like that one better because I figured not everyone's Spanish. And, sometimes you have people like me who mess it up. But as entrepreneurs, I want to let you guys know that Meerkat is a phenomenal tool that you guys can utilize to do your shows daily, to actually have an audience, and to actually share with people value and give them something that they can actually remember you for. Because here's the key when it comes to business. The person that gets somebody to remember them longer than anyone else is normally the person that they're going to buy from. Okay, your job is to consume people's minds when it comes to whatever you are expert in. For example, when I say think of a smartphone, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? An iPhone. When I say think of a soda, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? A Coke, Coca-Cola. When I say think about sneakers, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Nike, okay? And so on and so on, right? And guess what? Nike, Coca-Cola, and Apple have done a phenomenal job at consuming our minds when it... Baby, I'm doing my show. Baby.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Hello? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Hear me? Hello? Okay. Hey, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not, but I apologize. My wife actually called and it interrupted the stream, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. If you guys can, let me know. I would really, really appreciate it. If you guys can't, that's fine as well. But I would like to know if you guys can hear me or not, because this is going to be important. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure if you guys can, okay? But I do see a lot of people coming in, okay? But I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not. I say think about sneakers, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Nike, okay? And so on and so on, right? And guess what? Nike, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. When I say think about sneakers, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Coca-Cola. When I say think about all right, we're done.